And we are back once again. It's the 5 o'clock hour already. Thank you for sticking with us today for Light Up for Literacy with Chatham Literacy. My name is Josh. It's been, again, a blessing and a privilege to be your host today. I'm on the board of directors as well as the chairman for the development committee. And again, today has been about power. And I started each hour with this because it's that powerful, right? For literacy opens doors, it strengthens families, and it energizes communities. And that's what you have heard today from the countless folks that have been coming up to visit and talk with us. We are live from 79 West right now here in Pittsburgh. Again, we are in the current match of $2,500, and that ends soon. So it's vital that we receive your gift as soon as possible. And just to reiterate the ways that you can give, I've got a room full of people here right now that are willing to answer the phone for you. 919-742-0578. Again, you can stop by here at 79 West, and you can visit us online at chathamliteracy.org/donate. So our next guest needs no introduction. We are going to talk about our adult goal-based education programs. And let's welcome back Leslie Ocampo.
I did.
Hello again.
Hello.
You're all mic'd up? You ready to go?
I'm mic'd up. I'm ready.
All right. I love it. I love it. So Leslie, all right. So tell us, what goals do adults set in your traditional literacy program?
So I think we've mentioned before that our programs are flexible and customizable. So it really depends on the needs of the student. So, for example, if they are coming to us because they want to work on their professional skills, their soft skills, we're talking email, we're talking writing, we're talking reading, we're talking skills that will help them perform better in their work environment. If we're talking to somebody who graduated, but maybe their literacy skills aren't where they need to be, then we can start them wherever it is that they are. We'll meet them where they're at. So they can start off, if they're at 6th grade, 7th grade, even lower than that, we can also do that.
I love that. Meet people where they're at. I personally believe in that as well. So how do you personalize instruction then for reading and writing and numeracy and stuff like that?
So it all starts from orientation. When they walk in the door, we meet them. They do their application. On the application, it asks, what are you interested in? What do you want to learn? Why Chatham Literacy? So, for example, if they want to improve their reading and their writing skills, we will also do a placement test. So we'll determine where their literacy level is at and then what they want to accomplish. So then we'll find the right tutor and we'll find the right materials and go from there.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. So what progress markers matter most for learners and employers?
So for learners, it really depends on what they want to accomplish. For example, if we're helping somebody pass their realtor's license, then we will look for a tutor that knows what we should be looking for, right? Because I've never passed a realtor's license. I don't know what that entails.
We've got a guest coming up who does know. So
there we go. He could probably tell you what all that needs to be done. But because I specifically don't know, we will find them a tutor that does know so that they can look out and tell us and tell the learner, okay, here's what you should be doing. This is how you're going to pass the test. This is how you should be studying. This is how much time you should probably be looking into it.
That's right. So, all right, tell our viewers right now, what resources would expand your reach right now?
Like we've been mentioning it, we need volunteers. And volunteers who are willing to be tutors, and you don't have to have a teaching background. As long as, you can tutor somebody in whatever that adult goal-based education program they're interested in, and we'll find you the right match. We'll do the heavy lifting. We'll select the student, say, hey, here are some options for you. But we really need volunteers. We really need tutors. And again, we also need financial resources to be able to find those materials for that student to support them. And like you mentioned, meet them where they are.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I just got a note about financial resources. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But before we do, you brought somebody with you today, didn't you?
I did.
All right. Who'd you bring?
I brought our very own Gil Keeland.
All right. We're going to get Gil mic'd up here right now. While we get Gil mic'd up, I get to give away yet another prize. So again, we have The Night Train, first edition by Clyde Edgerton, a novel signed. And this hour's winner is Kurt Lipitor. All right. So again, while we're getting Gil mic'd up, I'm going to go ahead and give you some amazing news. Your generosity and donations have reached a level of $4,175. Now, with that being said, we've been under a match, which means that for Chatham Literacy, we've received $8,350 today. How awesome is that? All right, so let's see. Do we have Gil mic'd up?
Yep.
All right, Gil, come on over.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for coming. Gil is a tutor. So how do you set goals and measure progress for your adult learners?
Well, so we get a lot of help on how to do that from these guys. I think there's maybe two key pieces to that. There's sort of long-term goals. Mm-hmm. So back to what Leslie was saying in terms of adult goal-based education, we may have somebody I have a student currently who speaks English very well, but she's new to the working world, right? Mm-hmm. So she's working for Habitat for Humanity, and mm-hmm. she's got an office job. Mm-hmm. So really the goals for her are associated with how to develop professional skills. Simple stuff like how to write an email, send an email, other stuff like digital literacy, becoming more familiar with the internet, et cetera. So that's her broad goal. Is like she wants to be more comfortable about operating in a professional setting, right? But what we do typically with these guys is we'll do much more short-term goals that are very, I think, very similar to what I experienced being a business guy for years and years, right? Either as a manager or as an employee, where you pick kind of a good balance between a goal that's a reasonable stretch but still achievable, mm-hmm. something that's relatively measurable, and those short-term goals, I mean, we work on, I guess it's a quarterly basis, right? So we establish quarterly goals as we go with our students. So we're working towards that long-term thing, which is more, I don't know, abstract or mm-hmm. however you want to define that. But the short-term stuff, we can really kind of look at that in 3 months and make a very clear-eyed determination about whether we achieved it or not. And there's always, everybody's always open to change those goals as we go. But those give us a kind of reasonable target. And
SMART goals, as you know, are imperative to success. So now, what strategies rebuild confidence for those returning to learning after a while? We've heard about that a little bit today as well.
Yeah. So for me, most of the students I've had throughout this, I've had just really widely varying experiences in terms of education. And, I've got students who were in medical school and are just spending the summer. I've had students who have a third grade education, and the ages range as well pretty significantly, right? So some of those students have had a really hard time, right? Mm-hmm. So, with those students, I really don't know what to say. It's you've got to be sensitive to sort of where they're at. Mm-hmm. What they've been successful at, what they haven't been successful at. And you just need to be conscious of, where they may feel some certain level of weakness, right? And then you just have to say you're doing a great job a lot, mm-hmm. right? I mean, I think it's really important, especially if they're not particularly confident, to just say good job enough that they just have some level of encouragement so that they have some sort of incentive to keep going.
Yeah, no. Again, that flexibility and intentionality and meeting people where they're at has been a common theme throughout all of our different programs throughout the day. Do you have a success story that highlights persistence and partnership that you might be able to share with us?
Yeah, so that student that I talked about, Esther, who's working for Habitat, we had a great experience. This is so awesome. Will probably only happen to be once in my career as a tutor, but so we've been working on digital literacy, including spreadsheets and PowerPoint and word processors and just basic internet proficiency. we were working on PowerPoint, and we had been doing that for, I don't know, a month or so. And at the same time, she's very much a go-getter. So she was taking a leadership class that the town of Siler City had sponsored. And I came in one day in the process of working on these PowerPoint slides, and she was like, I have a presentation tonight. I've been working on these slides, but I really don't know what I'm doing. Can you please help me? Right?
Yeah.
It was really cute because she was sweating it, but she had spent a good bit of, the last couple of days trying to pull a presentation together, even though she was, just learning how to work in PowerPoint. So we just, whatever my lesson plan was that day turned into like, let's get Esther through this.
Right.
So we spent the next 2 hours sort of going through her slides. I gave her a mini crash course in public speaking, helped her craft the words on the PowerPoint slides and kind of keep it simple. And, she went from like, I've never done any of this before in my life to, by the time she did the presentation that night, she had a pretty well-crafted 5 or 6 slide presentation. She kind of knew you're supposed to make eye contact and you're not supposed to read from the slide and you're supposed to smile. She really kind of learned a whole lot in a really short period of time. So I was really proud of her. And I was really proud of sort of her ability to like take the little bit that she knew and just get it done, right? I mean, that took a lot of guts. And then I was just proud of sort of the collaboration that we were able to do together. I felt good about my contribution because I really don't think she could have got through that without some, serious support.
So, support's a great word, I think, both for our students, but for our tutors as well. What support helps tutors stay effective and energized?
Well, so you've got multiple tutor coordinators, right? Okay, so Leslie's been mine for most of my tenure at Chatham Literacy, and she's been great. She holds monthly meetings, conference calls that I don't call into nearly as often as I should. I'm very sorry. But they're great, and they're full of information. And then she sends out emails on a regular basis that also have other suggestions for resources that we can tap into, which are also helpful. Like, for example, one of her emails was like, you can use ChatGPT to help you with lesson planning, right? And I was like, you can, right? I mean, it was great, and it was so easy. And so ChatGPT, just as an example, right, has been really helpful. And like, if I have a targeted thing that I know somebody needs to be working on, maybe a set of vocabulary words, usually it's some sort of grammar thing, that's a great resource for me to be able to just kind of hone in on just really nailing a certain specific topic. And then whenever I go into the office and I'm talking about a student and kind of what they need to be learning next, right? Leslie's kind of right there with, oh yeah, that's the Challenger series. Let me go grab that for you. So she's been very helpful, just kind of spur of the moment, happy to order stuff for me and always promptly gets me the resources that I need. So I think we're well supported.
Wonderful. Well, Gil, thank you so much for your thoughts, for your energy, your support.
Yeah.
It's very clear that all of our staff here at Chatham Literacy, our program coordinators, our executive director, the entire team, does a great job because it really shines through in your heart. So, Gil, thank you again. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
All right, so we'll do a little bit of housekeeping before we bring up our next guest. Again, we are $825 away from our match goal. So we need you to take action right now, a call to action. You can give us a call. Again, our phone number is 919-742-0578. You can come visit us at 79 West here in Pittsburgh. Again, chathamliteracy.org/donate. So we mentioned real estate just recently, and so our next guest is an amazing supporter and friend of Chatham Literacy. Let's give it up for real estate broker from Century 21, Blue Newell.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, how's it going?
Good.
All right. So question number one. With what's it like making sure that an event like this digitally goes off without a hitch? Let me tell you why. Blue is behind all of this, what you see today. From a technology standpoint, he's been sitting in front of me all day, behind the camera, doing what it takes. So first of all, I'd like to give Blue a round of applause for everything that he's done for Light Up for Literacy Telethon. So what's it like making this happen today?
Well, I'll tell you what, it took a lot of effort. It was a lot of throwing the plan out the window. A lot of things definitely went wrong. That being said, it comes with great thanks to our team here because they gave great support and really made this all happen. I mean, when we really think about it, I have the easy job. I've been sitting behind the computer all day. We have lovely people taking phone calls, getting this all done, and they're the real ones that deserve thanks.
Amen to that. Let's give them a round of applause as well. All right, so let's get into, home ownership a little bit here in North Carolina. So how do you feel the programs offered by Chatham Literacy will help expand access to home ownership?
Well, as we heard today, I think what gets looked over as far as literacy goes is a lot of times people think about reading and writing. But we've heard a lot of terms today: digital, financial, English as a second language. All of this stuff is the foundation for buying a house. Whether that comes with getting a job promotion or saving and budgeting to finally get that down payment for a home, learning what loans are, what type of loan offers there are. Another thing to that is, like they said, they'll help out people get their realtor license. And what that does is it really helps find suitable realtors for those that are non-native speakers.
Fantastic. So then what's one piece of advice you'd give someone in today's real estate market?
I think the biggest piece of advice I could give to somebody in today's market is to not get caught up on waiting for the perfect time. A lot of the times nowadays, it seems like houses are overpriced. It should be a buyer's market. Right now, I think we're still in a seller's market, but we're somewhere on the edge. But a lot of people want to wait for that. Oh, I want the house price to dip, or I want the insurance rates to come down. But the two don't coincide. Normally, if the interest rate's down, housing prices are up. And normally if interest rates are up, housing prices are down. So it really, you can get caught up on finding the perfect time, but really the perfect time is now.
The market is dynamic. Do me a favor. How can they get in contact with you?
You can get in contact with me with my number. It's my personal number, and I'll get back to you as fast as possible. It's 919-444-4028.
All right, Blue Newell, Century 21. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right, folks. So one more hour down. 2 more segments to go. Again, we're here live, 79 West. As we mentioned, $825 to go. We are this close to hitting our goal today. So please, 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 your love, support, your generous donations are all very, very important. Well, we're going to break now. I'm going to get some more caffeine to make sure I can still talk for the next 2 segments. But thank you very much from Light Up for Literacy, and we'll see you soon.